So the Cleveland Guardians made a big statement against the Pittsburgh Pirates, getting a 10-7 win. The back end of the Guardians bullpen definitely was an experience. Things got so bad that the tying runner ended up at the plate, but still, nonetheless, the Guardians needed a game like this where the offense was clicking. So many guys had big hits, and 10 runs is 10 runs. In this video, I want to recap the Guardians win and also what has been going on over the last 2 weeks or so, because there is a lot to cover. I think the main problem everyone has been highlighting for good reason is the starting pitching. But for as many negatives as there has been, the Guards are above 500 right now, and they still are not fully healthy. Before I get into everything in this video, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. I'm going to try to show you some clips from the game, but the MLB has really been bad with copyright and all that stuff, which has made life really annoying for me, but I don't want to stop my Guardians coverage and stop my MLB content because of it. So, Luis Ortiz took the mound in this game against his former team, and obviously, there was going to be jitters, but he was solid. He did run into some pitch count trouble early, but he settled in, threw for 5 innings, and got the win. His last 2 innings were when he really started to get on a roll. Kwan in his new torpedo bat started off the game with a single, but then Lane Thomas, who was slid into the 2-hole, grounded out into a double play, and then Jose popped out to end the inning. In the bottom of the first, Oneil Cruz ended the no-run first inning, which never seems to hit anymore, with a 379-foot home run, and then Brian Reynolds singled to center, McCutchen struck out, Valdez struck out, and then Suwinski struck out. So I know he didn't strike out the side because of the home run, but this was still a great sign to see for Ortiz. Now moving on to the top of the second inning, Kyle Manzardo walked, Carlos Santana grounded out to send Manzo to second, but then Nolan Jones grounded out to continue his completely useless start to the season. And I want Will Brennan up now, but that is a convo for later in this video. And then Arias grounded out as well. In the bottom of the second, Adam Frazier singled, but Ortiz K'd up Kiner Falefa, and then Cruz flew out. Bo Naylor started out his legacy game in the third with a blast, hitting a 445-foot home run, and then Lane Thomas singled to center, Jose singled to right center, and then Kyle Manzardo doubled to deep left to score Jose, giving the Guards the lead. In the bottom half of the third, Joey Bart singled to center to score Andrew McCutchen, which tied the game up at 2, but the Guards struck back and answered immediately. Santana started off the next inning with a single to shallow center, then Gabriel Arias singled, and Bo Naylor plugged a gap to score both runners to give the Guardians a 4-2 lead. Moving on to the top of the 5th inning, Jose Ramirez doubled. It's nice to see him start to get going. We need him to come around. I think he belongs in the 3-hole. He just seems so comfortable there. That is just his natural spot. I completely understand the thinking of moving him to the 2-hole because ultimately, in terms of math, he would be getting more at-bats throughout the course of the season, but I think the 10 runs should be enough to continue to keep him at the 3-hole for right now. Anyways, Carlos Santana put a ground ball in play, which is just what he does being a vet, and Jose Ramirez, who is the best base runner in the league, was ready to score. Now moving on to the top of the 7th, this is when the Guards' offensive explosion happened. Lane Thomas singled, Jose drew a walk even though he wanted to hit, Carlos Santana walked as well, and then Jhonkensy Noel finally got a hold of one, driving a ball over the left fielder's head to clear the bases, and then right after, Gabriel Arias doubled to score Noel and Santana, and all of a sudden, the score was 9-2 Cleveland. And at this point, it felt like we were in garbage time. Rocchio hit a sac fly to center to drive in Arias, which could be huge for his confidence because he has been struggling so much, and then with a 10-2 lead, Stephen Vogt thought he could just throw in anyone out of the bullpen, and that turned out to not be the case. That was kind of a mistake, which is not a good sign. Tim Herron allowed a home run, then Jacob Junis came in and gave up a 2-run bomb, and then in the bottom of the 9th, Brian Reynolds singled to drive in Cruz, Valdez doubled, but Stephen Kwan made the play of the game and saved the day with his throw to get the runner out at third. And then Class A came in and got the save, and the Guards escaped with a 10-7 win. So what were my takeaways from this game? First off, the Guardians need to figure out this bullpen situation. I know they're going to because they have most of the same players as last year, and they were just so lights out last year. And I get it, the start of the season can sometimes be fluky because guys are trying to find their groove, but Tim Herron should not be allowing runs like this, Kate Smith should not be allowing runs, Class A definitely should not be allowing runs. Like I said, I know somebody is going to, but really soon we need a few of these guys to become lights out again because the offense has not been in a rhythm yet. Obviously, they scored 10 runs in this game, but over the last week or so, the bullpen has needed to step up and it just hasn't. and that's why the guards are only about 500 right now. I feel like they could be a lot better than that. Luis Ortiz pitched solid in this game, which was desperately needed, and he needs to continue that as the guards wait till Shane Bieber comes back midsummer. I still think another arm is needed, and it has to be done with a trade. The guards should consider moving someone from the farm to get a real arm, not just a get-me-by type of player that I know the Dolans and Antonetti love to go get, those like random guys that maybe you'll pitch like twice and then you'll never see him again. I would like to see Will Brennan get called up to the bigs again, and for Nolan Jones to be sent down. I think Brennan is a better fielder, he's better at making contact. There's no reason why Jones should be playing right now while Brennan is hitting over 300 in Columbus. Angel Martinez has been huge this season. Really, he has been one of the unsung heroes in keeping the ship afloat, and I think it was Rick Manning that said it. It might have been Matt Underwood, but one of those two said that they don't think that he's going to go back to the minors at all this season, and I kind of get that vibe too. It seems like every game he has a big hit. He just missed a home run to right, and if he can step in and play second base for most of this year until Bazana is ready to go, that would be huge. I'd even be fine with giving Brito a few chances. I know eventually Rocchio is going to get it figured out because he was so good last postseason, but man, at the plate, he has been unwatchable through the first 15 games. He just swings at everything. I also cannot wait until David Fry comes back. I'm assuming he's about a month or so out, and I know he can't play the field, which sucks, but still, if he can come in and DH, that could be a big boost. But at the same time, it would create a weird situation because every time he DHs, he would be taking the bat out of Manzardo's hands. Manzardo would be completely out of the lineup unless he's playing first base, but Carlos Santana is a Gold Glover, and he's been really patient, so I don't see any reason why he would not be the starter. Or even Noel wouldn't really get a lot of at-bats, and it's going to be tough to keep these guys in a rhythm if they only play a few times a week. I know that from just my high school career. When you sit and don't play for 3 games in a row for no reason, then it's tough to get in that zone. But I mean, if the guards can get Bieber back and Bibee or just somebody else can step up and be a reliable option, all of a sudden that opens up a whole new world for this team. If by midsummer they can have a lineup of Kwan, Thomas, Jose, Santana, Fry, and Manzardo, and then Brennan, Noel, Martinez, or Arias, or Rocchio, or someone like that, that really is a solid lineup. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this game and what you've thought about the start of the season so far. Let me know what adjustments you think the Guardians should make. And also, if you enjoyed this one, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly does mean the world. And let me know what you would like to see next. And until then, I will see you all later.